It is my absolute privilege to welcome you all to a very special event with Lyn White and the wonderful Animals Australia team. Lyn's investigations in over 11 different countries have taken her to places few would care to visit. She retains an absolute belief in the human spirit, and her work presents an inspiring example of how one individual with passion, courage and conviction can make a profound difference. But now I'd like you to join me in giving an incredibly warm welcome to Lyn White.
It doesn't seem that long ago that I was happily driving around in a police vehicle in South Australia thinking that I'd be there until my retirement day. You know, if a fortune teller's crystal ball had predicted a decade ago that I would leave policing, that my new career would take me to the Middle East and Indonesia investigating the live export trade, that I'd be interviewed on every current affairs program around Australia, and that I have a Jordanian princess as my closest friend, I probably would have stood up and demanded my money back. Well, my life journey has certainly taken me to places that I never expected to go, and to witnessing more human and animal suffering than most. And it has made me think deeply on life, on our responsibilities to each other, and our responsibilities to other living beings. And I've realised so clearly that there is a dire need for us to reevaluate our individual roles in this world and what we are capable of contributing. That it is not successful lives in the traditional sense that this world and its living beings, whether human or animal, are needing us to lead. They are crying out for us to use our passion and our skills to lead meaningful and significant lives. Well, my conscience was first awakened at the age of 38 to the treatment of animals, and it was during that year that I received a card from a friend that contained within it the words of Ralph Waldo Emerson: "Go not where the path may lead, go instead where there is no path and forge a trail." Well, I'd never been a leader, and I never wanted to be a leader. In fact, I was the kid in class at school that never raised her hand for fear of getting the question wrong. I have learnt so many invaluable lessons over the past decade, and one of the greatest is that we underestimate our own capacity. No matter how ordinary we perceive ourselves to be, when faced with a great need, when called upon to assist, we are all capable of doing the extraordinary. For the first 38 years of my life, my presence on this earth contributed little of value. And despite the fact that I'd always cared about animals, I was making choices that were contributing to their suffering. So I am living proof of how a life can change dramatically simply through becoming informed. I had thought that Australia was a world leader in animal welfare. Instead, I'd found out that we have legalised, commercialised and industrialised animal cruelty in this country, and that most Australians were completely unaware. I was shocked and angry that I had been unwittingly supporting animal cruelty all my life, and so angry that these industries had been able to keep their secrets from us. In our human system of justice, we consider imprisonment and deprivation of liberty the greatest punishment that we can inflict on those who commit crimes against our society, because we know that denial of freedom is extreme punishment. Despite this knowledge, each year in Australia, literally millions of animals are incarcerated in factory farms, literally animal prisons, denied movement and quality of life. How can we possibly suggest that freedom is more important to us than it is to an animal? An animal wouldn't struggle in a trap. A fish wouldn't struggle in a net. Animals wouldn't sway back and forth or bite on the bars that surround them if they didn't know the difference between freedom and imprisonment. I left policing when I discovered that the system of justice that I had been so proud to uphold as a police officer didn't translate to protecting the most innocent and vulnerable members in our society, those who cannot cry out for help, and therefore those who need our protection most of all. If you look back through history, you will see that our species has always had the courage to explore. But it would seem that we have been so busy exploring what is around us that we've forgotten to explore what is within us, the depths and breadths of our humanity. Undoubtedly, the suffering of literally billions of innocent, sentient beings around this world currently at human hands is calling on us to do so, and to ponder on perhaps the most significant and challenging question that our species will ever face. Since we can lead healthy, happy, and fulfilling lives without harming those who share this world with us, why on earth wouldn't we? I'd like to suggest a seemingly radical premise to you tonight that reflects back on that need that I mentioned earlier for us to lead meaningful and significant lives, and also potentially provides an answer to that ever-present question of actually why we're here. What if the purpose of each new generation is to question, to not just accept what others have accepted before us, to identify where there is injustice and right it, to identify where our species has made mistakes and correct those mistakes? What if the purpose of each new generation is to leave this world a kinder, a better and more ethical place for those who will follow us? It's not a radical premise at all, is it? Rather, it is a reality, an opportunity and a responsibility that has long been there waiting for us to awaken to it and embrace it. Why do animals matter? They matter because they're living, breathing, feeling beings who share this world with us. But they also matter because they challenge the finest elements in our humanity to come forth and protect them from harm. This is not just about them. This is about us and our humanity. They challenge us not just to be human beings, but to be humane beings. Why are we here on this earth? Well, none of us know for sure. But what we do know is that we are all participants in an extraordinary journey, and that is the journey of mankind. And every time we become less cruel, less selfish, more humane, our own species takes a step towards fulfilling its potential and a step closer to living in peace. Ironically, those who have suffered most and longest at human hands may well be our saviours. You see, animals may be voiceless, but if you listen, you will hear them. Somehow, their suffering is calling on our humanity to awaken. Thank you so much for caring, for your support of our work, and for being here tonight.